If you're not yet building AI agents, you won't believe what you're missing out on. Leveraging them can significantly boost your productivity and workflow. CrewAI is a Python-based solution that makes it easy to work with autonomous AI agents. Today, I'll show you the easiest way of creating a crew of agents using CrewAI and Ollama on Lightning AI, a cloud-based platform that gives you a coding experience like Visual Studio Code. If you prefer to work locally, you can still apply these concepts without any modifications. You'll find a written version of this tutorial on my blog with all the commands and step-by-step instructions. If you'd rather take a shortcut, feel free to use the Lightning Studio I've created as a template. It's totally free, and you can use it to jumpstart your own agent creation. However, if you want to learn how to create a crew from scratch, stick around and follow my step-by-step guide. I've been using Lightning AI as my go-to coding platform because it makes working with multiple AI tools so much easier. The hassle of managing packages and dependencies on my local machine is totally not worth it. I just wanted a simpler way to get the job done. And to be clear, this video isn't sponsored by Lightning AI. I just genuinely enjoy using the platform. With Lightning AI, I can create a studio, which is essentially a cloud-based virtual environment that lets me work in isolation. When I'm done with a project, I can just create another studio for the next one. No mess left behind. And the best part? It's free if you run your studios in CPU mode. Plus, you get 15 free tokens per month that let you run processes on a GPU, giving you up to 22 free hours of GPU time per month on the free plan. If you're curious about Lightning AI, check out my video on the topic in the description. For this tutorial, I'll assume you have either signed up for Lightning AI or are working with Visual Studio Code locally on your machine. So let's get started. To save some time, I'll be using a Lightning AI Studio template that already has Ollama installed. If you want to learn how to install Ollama persistently on Lightning AI, I'll drop a link to that video in the description. If you're working locally, I'm going to assume you have Ollama set up. If not, no worries, it's super easy. Just head over to the Ollama website and download it like you would any other software. This Lightning AI Ollama template comes pre-equipped with Llama 3.1 and Llama 3.2. The only thing you need to do, just once, is update your path variable in the .studio.rc configuration file by adding the path where Ollama is installed. You can find that path on the Ollama Studio template page. Just a heads up, this Studio template runs on a GPU, which will use up tokens. But as I mentioned earlier, on the free plans, your tokens reset monthly, giving you up to 22 hours of GPU use each month. Copying the template to your own studio will take a few seconds. Wait until it's done. Once we've copied the studio from the template, let's rename our studio to something more fitting. Next, open a terminal in VS Code. Just go to the Terminal menu and select New Terminal. Now, let's start Ollama by running the command Ollama serve. In a separate terminal window, you can check that both Llama 3.1 and Llama 3.2 are installed by using the command Ollama list. Now we've checked that Ollama is up and running, let's start working with CrewAI. First, we must install a couple of packages: CrewAI itself and the CrewAI tools. We can do this by running the following command in our terminal: pip install CrewAI tools. I personally like to clear my terminal after each command to keep things organized, but that's just me. You don't have to do it if you prefer not to. Now, let's create a new crew called Research Crew using the CrewAI command. We can do this by running CrewAI create Crew Research Crew. This will set up a whole project structure for us, including a pre-built template crew that we can use right away with minimal tweaks. The name Research Crew comes from the fact that the CrewAI template generates a crew of researchers automatically. And all you need to do is make a few adjustments to get it up and running. But first, let's take a look at what we've got so far. The main.py file contains some useful functions that we can use to interact with our researcher crew. We're only going to use the run function today. This function initializes and runs the research crew with a predefined topic. In the crew.py file, you'll find where all the crew members come together. You might notice a few @ scattered throughout the code. These are Python decorators that make it easier to create agents, tasks, and even the crew itself. For instance, there's an @agent decorator that simplifies the process of adding new agents. When we use this decorator, it automatically adds our newly created agent, like researcher, to the crew's list of team members. Here you'll notice two agents, researcher and reporting analyst. We've also got two tasks created using the @task decorator, one for research and another for reporting. The @crew decorator is where the crew comes together and gets its tasks assigned to it. The crew takes care of executing the tasks, but you get to decide how they're executed, whether one after the other, or perhaps with a hierarchical structure, or even consensus-based approach. You'll also notice that there's a verbose parameter attached to both the agent and crew. This allows you to customize the level of detail in the logs, essentially controlling what gets printed out when the crew runs. But where are these agents and tasks defined? Take a closer look at another part of the codebase, specifically the config folder. That's where you'll find two important YAML files, one for the agents and one for the tasks. Let's start with the agent definition. Each agent has three key components: role, goal, and backstory. These details shape who they are and how they will solve the problem you give them. The names we've defined in these YAML files match exactly what we passed to the decorators in crew.py. When defining an agent, try to be as specific as possible so that you can get the best results from their interactions within the crew. This CrewAI template is showing you exactly how this should be done. You might have noticed some curly brackets around certain words. This is where variables come into play. For instance, you'll see topic repeated throughout our agent's description. This variable can be customized in the main.py file, which we'll explore soon. Let's focus on our first agent for now. His role within the crew is that of a senior data researcher for whatever topic we're currently exploring. His goal is to stay up to date with cutting-edge developments in this area. As for his backstory, he's an experienced researcher who excels at finding and presenting relevant information in a clear and concise manner. Next, let's take a look at our second agent. His role within the crew is defined as a reporting analyst for whatever topic we're currently exploring. In this capacity, he's responsible for distilling complex information into actionable insights that can be presented in a clear and concise manner. Now, let's look at our tasks. Each task has its own description, which explains what needs to be done. For instance, the research task is all about conducting a thorough investigation into the topic at hand and finding interesting information up to date for the current year, 2024. We're expecting this task to yield a specific output, a list of 10 bullet points that summarize the most relevant info on our topic. This task has been assigned to our researcher agent, who's best suited for this kind of work. The second task is assigned to the reporting analyst, who reviews the context and expands each topic into a full section for a report. The expected output is a fully detailed report with the main topic formatted as Markdown. Let's head back to our main.py file and check out what topic our crew is actually researching. Since the agents and tasks were defined in a pretty abstract way, just doing research on topic, you can use any topic you want here. Right now, the topic set by the CrewAI template project is AI LLMs. But we could change it to something like improving personal productivity in the workplace. Another change I'd like to make is to use Ollama as the default LLM. To do that, we need to go to our crew.py file and import the LLM class from the CrewAI module. Next, we'll define which model we want to use and the URL that CrewAI should use for Ollama. Let's create a variable called Llama 3.2 that instantiates the LLM class, passing in the Llama 3.2 model and the local URL where Ollama is running. This is the default URL that Ollama creates when it's running, and it is always the same. Finally, we need to tell the agents to use Ollama as the default large language model. One great feature of CrewAI is that it lets you assign different LLMs to different agents. For example, if you have an agent focused on coding, you could assign it an LLM that's better suited for code generation, while another agent could use a different LLM. Before running the crew, we must install all the dependencies for our project. In the terminal, navigate to your project folder using cd research crew. Then use the command CrewAI install to have all the dependencies installed. This will take a few minutes. Once that is done, you can run your crew using the command CrewAI run. You can now sit back and observe your crew doing the work. You can see the first agent, our senior data researcher, working on researching the topic of improving personal productivity. After a few seconds, this agent creates an output. Immediately following, the second agent, our reporting analyst, takes over to create a full report. The reporting analyst also produces an output which you can see in the terminal by scrolling up. However, viewing the output in the terminal is not ideal. Fortunately, the CrewAI template provides a solution. Take a look at the second task in the crew.py file. Notice the output file parameter, which specifies that a file named report.md should be created. Let's take a closer look at this Markdown file, which is basically just a text file. You'll see that it contains the final report generated by the crew. In general, I find it really helpful to store the outputs of every task in Markdown or text files. This way, you can easily see and analyze all the intermediate steps without having to scroll through the terminal, and your results are saved more permanently on your local machine or in your Lightning Studio. You now have full control to expand and customize this crew to fit your needs. Feel free to modify, add to, or experiment with the agents to get the results you want. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me soon in my next video.